Welcome to this video brought to you by Admiral Markets. I'm going to take a look at the euro dollar and dollar yen momentum. Massive impulse going on these currency pairs like the euro dollar and dollar yen. More on that in just a second. Be aware that this video is intended for a global audience. It may not be suitable for everyone. Take a look at this link, admiralmarketsglobal.com. Select your country of residence and contact an appropriate entity to find out if it is suitable and other conditions and details. Also, trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and may not be suitable for everyone. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for educational and informational purposes only, and by continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and also you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Alright, let's start with the euro dollar. Massive momentum can be seen here, pushing last week up and up and up, and started a continuation of the upside. This is something that I was looking for in the live trading room on Tuesday, looking for the bounce at the 50, 61.8 fib, and what a bounce it has been so far, going up almost basically 5 cents in literally a few hours or a few days at max. So at this moment, obviously the trade has accelerated far, the break was beautiful, but what now? What is next? I'm going to wait for a triangle or some kind of bull flag, a chart pattern basically that says, okay, this pattern is going to consolidate like this and then continue with another break. A massive momentum like this typically is a wave 3 and sees a slow correction after that, followed by one more break. So at this point in time, I'm not too excited about trading it right here because it already has accelerated so far. It has moved away so much. What I am interested in is if it makes a correction pattern that looks corrective, and then I would like to trade the break for one more push through, perhaps even 2 more pushes, depending exactly how far this can go. Now, what kind of retracement am I looking for? Typically, I would put the fib from here to here, and I would definitely not expect a deeper fib retracement than the 38.2. At this moment, that is 113, depends if price still pushes further. Or the 23.6, 1380. One of those two fibs, wherever that fib may go, because price can still push higher, I'll just adjust the fib in that case to the high and look for those retracements back to those fibs. Look then for continuation up to the minus 272 target, which is at the moment 116.25. That can change if this fib is higher. So that's what I'm looking for on this euro dollar. That was the hourly perspective. If we take a step back and look at the weekly chart, and we see price breaking through or retesting this 115 top, and that didn't seem likely when price was all the way down here at 108, really challenging that weekly bottom. But I remained firm and said if it doesn't break that 108, it could still be a very big correction that could take us all the way up to the 38.2 fib, and that is indeed happening. Price did not break through 108, didn't get the bearish breakout of this down momentum, and we're still in this correction. In fact, price is accelerating in a bullish correction, and the main target, in my opinion, still the same. The 38.2 fib at 118, depending on how you fib it, it could be 170 well, and the 272 target lining up pretty much the same spot, 117.40. So anywhere 117, 117.50, I think is the main level to think about here as a target for the very, let's say, intermediate future. And this level, of course, could be a big resistance spot and could be a turning spot again for downside, so that's something to be aware of. For the moment though, what I'm looking for is basically a small little correction here, perhaps on a 4-hour chart, something like this, and then a break through the 115 up to 117, 117.50, just like we saw a break here, and the one we were talking about last week worked out well too. Now, if you're interested in joining the live trading rooms and webinars, Tuesday, Wednesday, always at 7:45 a.m. UK time. We're taking a look at moving averages this time on Tuesday. Wednesday, as always, strategy. Nenet has his weekly FX recap on Monday, and Wednesday his expert opinion. And together, Nenet and I are going to take a look at trading support or resistance on Thursday. So I hope to see you in one of these webinars. The dollar yen is showing the same acceleration as the euro dollar. Here too, massive downside. And this is a real big acceleration right here. Very big breakthrough of this support. You can see the support trend line there. If I would draw it like this, you can see it a bit better. Right there, that's the moving averages. Break through the moving averages, and what an acceleration. Same thing like the euro dollar, but then the opposite. And of course, in both cases, dollar weakness. And here too, I would be interested in finding a bear flag or triangle for more downside. And here too, using this fib basically, or actually maybe even this top like this, wouldn't expect more retracement than the 23.6 or the 38.2 fib. It's basically the same story. There's just one small difference perhaps, is that the euro dollar is kind of poking through the resistance. The dollar yen hasn't done that with the support as yet, and could find a bit of a bounce because there is long moving average here on the daily, and there are some support trend lines that could be found by connecting these bottoms. So those could be reasons for a tad of a bounce here up to the 38.2 fib, which I would expect again to be resistance, and would expect to see follow through to the downside. But considering this momentum, I do expect that follow through after the bounce perhaps here. Now with all of that beautiful downside that we've seen on the dollar yen and beautiful upside on the euro dollar, there is maybe the pound dollar that doesn't seem that interesting. We have a wedge pattern, a corrective chart pattern on this pair, and it's a currency pair that just isn't moving. It's stalemated, it's just going sideways, and maybe in this rising wedge type of formation there's a support line like this, or a resistance trend line like this. Just does not speak to me, I'm not interested in trading it myself personally, and I'll be just very short with this, brief with this analysis. If it breaks the green line, perhaps there could be some acceleration down to this line. Could see a bounce again at this, perhaps this trend line again. If it breaks the resistance, there could be a breakout. Those trend lines are important for me. I mean, if price does push through that, I would be interested in looking at this pair. I would not immediately trade it, but I would be interested in looking at it. At this moment, I'm not even interested in doing that because it's just a tight wedge and doesn't appear to trade at this moment. All right, AUD/USD next of all. Well, AUD/USD was also choppy last week. Didn't like it either because of this particular zone. Indeed, price didn't go anywhere last week. It did have a bearish break today. It did have some bearish momentum today. So, that could make it again interesting. Basically, broke through to this morning, through this trend line, as it gapped open and fell through that trend line. Honestly, it's still actually right at this. So, not jumping at all in dollar yen. More, I like the breakout last week, and I think that after today's correction or this week's correction, anytime this week could be interesting. But AUD/USD still, I would like to get through this support, through this bottom perhaps, and then a retracement for more downside. There's basically more patience needed, I think, before I'm really started to get interested in trading this. Maybe something like this could happen, and then I would look again. Otherwise, still on the sidelines on the Aussie, still on the sidelines on the pound. Definitely interested in the euro and the dollar yen, but not right now after the correction. And I'm looking for a similar breakout then as last week, but then this week, and looking for that follow through. Don't forget to take a look at Admiral Markets and social media. A lot of content, great content is being released, analysis, and also our webinars. So thank you for watching, and wish you good trading. Cheers.